Have you ever painted your cabinets only to find out that the paint you used wasn't made for cabinets?
Well, we sure have. And that's why in today's episode, we're going to show you the paint we finally found that holds up.
And we're going to show you how we added peel and stick wallpaper for a dark, moody vibe, all without spending a fortune. In last week's episode, we shared with you how we pre-painted our paneling to save the headache of having to go into each and every groove, but we didn't go into the detail of the paint that we used. So today we are going to share with you the paint that we chose, but first let's start with what failed in our last paint. This is our second time using a mineral paint to paint our cabinets, and the first time I had a really great relationship with the manufacturer, and when I spoke with the owner saying, hey, I used that paint on my cabinets, and he said, well, I wish you wouldn't have. I was like, oh, okay, because it's just not meant for the kitchen and
all
for
of the grabbing of the handles.
The
really.
handles and also the heat, the exposure of the moisture from cooking and all of that stuff. So it just was, I should have done my research and I did not. And it didn't hold up. Like within, what, about a year or so?
Now it looked great.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
A beautiful finish, and the color was great. All that was fine.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, I would say 99% of the door
stayed the same.
Stayed fine. It was everywhere that somebody was grabbing for the handle that it started just peeling that away slowly but surely.
Well, and I think closer to the stove area, we started noticing a little bit more wear because of that moisture.
Yeah.
You live, you learn.
That's right.
We redid our basement kitchenette, and I had reached out to a local person who sells fusion mineral paint, and I asked her, I said, can we use this for kitchen cabinets? And I was a little hesitant because I was like,
You just use mineral paint.
And it may not hold up, but it is formulated to be strong. It's formulated to be used with furniture and lots of high traffic type applications. So we thought, well, let's give it a try. The basement kitchenette cabinets have been painted for a few years and they are still flawless. So we knew we could use this same paint upstairs.
I want to mention something I like about this paint. The finish is it's like less than satin. I wouldn't say it's totally flat.
It's not, is it matte?
I mean, maybe matte. It's like matte to satin.
Yeah,
and
it's matte.
It's matte.
We're dorks.
Stupid. But I really like the way that looked. And we painted a piano body with this paint too.
That's where I first used the paint,
the
was
look
that
of that
piano.
Yeah, and the look of that the way that black, satinish, mattenish, the way that looked just blew my mind. And so when you said, hey, let's do it on the kitchenette cabinets, I thought, yeah, let's try it. And that blue color downstairs was just awesome. That gave us a lot of confidence with its durability and the sheen and the way it looked to try it up here.
I went and purchased lots of the little tubs of samples to just find the perfect color. And the big thing for us was to have this paint match and disguise somewhat the granite that we were keeping because we could not afford to replace the granite. So work with what you got. And I thought maybe pulling out some grays would work, but then we started leaning green and I found kind of a green-gray color and it actually made the countertop almost shift.
Yeah, it kind of helped shift that.
Mute it in a way.
But in searching for that green, we couldn't quite find the stock colors to match exactly what we wanted. And so we had several samples put up to look at the granite against it. And we kept saying, well, I kind of like the way this one looks, but I also like the way this one looks. And if there was a way to marry the two, it might be perfect.
We also put those samples going down the hallway because that hallway does not get natural light. This color looks great right here, but how is it going to look in that dark hallway? So we had samples kind of all over the kitchen, little sample swatches.
So we actually made a custom mix and figured out how many parts of each made the color that we really wanted and worked perfectly with our countertops. Right. I even remember writing in pencil, like, this one is 2-to-1, this one's 3-to-1, this one's 3-to-2, and you know, just we had it worked
so we
out.
Could remember the formulation.
Yeah, which one is this? Which mixture is this?
The formulation we used was 4 parts Everett and 1 part Algonquin, which is a really nice gray-green color, and it's very similar to Sherwin-Williams Thunderous. So if you don't have a fusion mineral access in your area, then you can also get a dupe by using Sherwin-Williams Thunderous.
You go to Sherwin-Williams and goes, yes, I'd like a gallon of Thunderous. That'd be awesome.
I didn't know you went into Sherwin-Williams with such a high voice.
Hey, y'all. Y'all got some paint up in here? Yeah, I don't know either.
So I am super excited because we are on kind of the last leg of this kitchen. We've got the hallway finished, the pantry finished, the island for the most part finished. We've built the microwave area. We're just waiting on some hinges to install the doors. So now comes tackling the big wall behind me. I've been waiting for this day for such a long time. Let's do it. One trick that I like to do is always mark where the door came from. So that way when you get to sanding and you don't know exactly where the doors have been, you don't want to lose sight of those. I always put a little mark of where that has come from. That makes it super helpful. Now what we're going to do with these doors is install hidden hinges. So that means we're going to be using our Craig jig to cut out the pocket hole that will hold the new hinge. Once we do that, I just will rewrite where the door goes inside that hinge hole, so that way I still don't forget, because that is a very possible thing that can happen with all of these doors. Some of my hinges have already fallen apart. These hinges are way overdue to be replaced. One thing we won't go into in this video is the painting techniques, because there are a gazillion of tutorials on YouTube on how to paint kitchen cabinets. But we will tell you the process that we did very quickly. We basically sanded down the doors, which was your favorite part.
Yeah. If you could just scuff them, that would have been all it would need. But since we had those marks where fingernails had actually peeled paint off, it just wasn't flat. So we had to kind of sand it all down in those places to get it. So it was a little tedious, but it's cabinet painting. So what do you expect?
We did purchase their primer that really helps with adhesion. So it was sanding, then primer, then about 2 or 3 coats of our special mix that we made.
The primer is pretty, there's no color to the primer.
No,
it's clear.
It actually goes on very milky.
So don't be surprised by that.
That's right.
Because you might think, oh, primers are white, but this is pretty much clear.
Now the one thing I will tell you, the Fusion mineral paint is not cheap. That was, I think, our biggest splurge other than the refrigerator in this kitchen. However, I think we only had to buy 2 mixes, and we still have a good bit of the mix left in order to cover all of these cabinets and that huge pantry wall.
Yeah.
So it really went a long way.
That is right. The other thing when you're working with the Fusion brand is when you're painting it, my tendency is to always just brush and brush and brush and brush and really try to smooth things out. You need to let it smooth itself out. One thing that we tried to do was if we needed to put it on with a brush, we would do that, not overwork it, but we would always come back with a fine nap roller and get that one last pass on it just so it was nice and flat. Turned out great.
I mean, we're joking that it's matte, but the sheen really is a beautiful flat sheen. And they do sell a top coat that you can put on. We did apply the top coat to the basement. However, if you go to their website, the top coat could possibly shift the color. So I thought, well, let's try it out. Let's see how it holds up without that top coat. And so far, upstairs, we've not had to do that. So since this is expensive, we had...
You don't want to spill it.
No, which I horribly did. I felt so bad.
So what happened? I remember you walked up our...
I tripped going up the steps. Oh my gosh.
I heard that. Did you trip? Probably because you were wearing what kind of footwear? Flip-flops. Do you have flip-flops on?
It's everywhere. I was like, there's hundreds of dollars all over the floor.
So go take care of your foot.
No, I want to try to save the paint. That's like $500. In an earlier episode, we talked about how we Jenga'd the entire pantry by repurposing some uppers from above the stove, but that left some ceiling repairs that needed to be done, and it was your favorite, painting the ceiling.
Yeah, I got to sand and paint cabinets. Such a joy. And then I got to do drywall work on the ceiling. So it was like a 2-for-1 special day. It must have been my birthday.
You know, I'm that kind of a wife.
I appreciate that. But yeah, there was some strange unevenness from where those cabinets were, and we even found that there was a little bit of popcorn left that the cabinets hid from us. And we got some ceiling white, brand new ceiling white on the thing. Looks so good, you can't even tell.
Nope, just gave it a fresh coat of paint.
Maybe look closely and you're like, I see it, but we don't do that.
Don't look closely.
Don't ever look closely.
If you go to a DIYer's house, don't look closely.
Yeah, just look in general. Just
take a step back, like looking at Christmas lights. You know, you squint.
Yeah, squint a little bit.
And tilt your head.
And then it goes away.
And then it looks great.
It's perfect, yeah.
Advice with Trent and Jen.
Oh, how do you choose a wall color once you've found the perfect cabinet color and wallboard color?
That also wouldn't make the granite now suddenly pop because we worked so hard to tone it down.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, let's just go with a neutral, kind of creamy white. And I said, well, let's start down that pantry hallway. And instantly,
the beautiful green was not so beautiful anymore.
It really wasn't.
It's crazy.
Yeah. We wanted another color, and you found a color called kid gloves that you like. Now, why did you like kid gloves, Trent?
I'm a nerd.
Why are you a nerd?
Well, I like a band called Rush. There are 3 guys from Canada, and I've always been a huge fan. They have a little album from 1984 called Grace Under Pressure, and on that album is a song called Kid Gloves. And so, of course, anywhere I see Rush references, I'm just going to pick it.
Our studio's decorated with Rush. We have a Rush pinball machine. You've done a Rush podcast with our son.
I like to play Rush with my friends. I kind of like it.
So we chose the color Kid Gloves based on the title of a song off of this album. So there you go. That's a really long story to get to why we chose the color for
But it matters. The details matter.
But here's a funny story. So
I went into Sherwin-Williams and went, hi, y'all got some Kid Gloves.
But this is a Benjamin Moore color.
That's why they were so confused.
Well, we did go to Benjamin Moore, and that was only available in the high-cost specialty paint Aura. Yeah.
Which is killer paint.
We just were maxed on the budget. We said, well, can you tint it to another paint? And they're like, well, yeah, and we'll just name it whatever.
And then, of course, we're laughing in the store with our friends and just saying, how do they come, thunderous and kid gloves? And like, none of that means anything at all. And so we were like, we kind of want to be on the team that names the paint colors. And so they said, well, hey, since this is a custom tint in this other brand, we can name it whatever you want. And old funny Jenny over here, old Carol Burnett said, how did these people come with these names like Ernie's Marbles? We were all in the floor laughing. So it is called Ernie's Marbles.
Yes. If you want to match that same wall color, we suggest getting Benjamin Moore's Kid Gloves.
I suggest going in the store and specifically asking for Ernie's Marbles and see what you get.
Here's a tip. With that other color that we didn't use that we thought was really
not working with our green.
Exactly. You can repurpose that. We use that to paint the insides of our cabinets. So that is a great way to repurpose what you spent your money on. The hallway, I wanted so badly that moody, dark vibe that is so popular right now. So I really wanted a wallpaper, but I started pricing wallpapers and instantly thought, okay, so my dream's not gonna happen. I started looking at stencils, trying to find something that way I could get the look that I want at the cost that I could afford. We went into Lowe's and happened to go down the aisle where their peel and stick wallpaper was, and I found our wallpaper on clearance, and it matched the green color perfectly.
Yeah,
so that was a great win. Now this is our first time to install the peel and stick wallpaper. So that was the first few panels.
You did a great job.
Well, thank you. But the first few panels, it's kind of, kind of scary.
Well, plus you keep thinking you're going to wake up and it's all going to be falled over.
Falled over.
Y'all got Ernie's Marbles?
So the tip is to measure twice and cut once. You always want to kind of stay ahead of your measurements. Also make sure that your patterns match up, but you want to overlap carefully. And then we used a big plastic scraper to smooth out any bubbles. Now, one thing that they said is to just take your time. You don't want to put it on freshly painted walls, which we had painted those walls a few months earlier, but that was enough time for that other paint to fully dry and cure. So you don't want to put it on freshly painted walls, or sometimes the adhesion is not going to work properly. So the space is finally starting to feel like us. We are coming into the home stretch. We are going to be breaking down all of the details of the little things in the next episode that'll be coming out. We'll be sharing the hardware that we chose, hanging the cabinet doors, the under cabinet lighting, garbage pull-out tray, and the leaded windows that we installed. And then eventually in the final episode, we will recap everything that we did along with what the final cost was. Here's the deal. I don't know what the final cost is.
Yeah.
We've not pulled receipts yet.
We're excited to find out too.
I don't know if I'm excited.
Hopefully not. Oh, dang.
But this was spent over 2 years.
That's right, yeah. It's really cheap when you break it down over 24 months. Don't forget to hit subscribe and follow Your Home Renewed.
We've got some great episodes coming up. All of those tutorials, all the details, you don't want to miss it. So be sure to follow along.